Welcome to another Farmtown misadventure. In this video we'll be showing how to use a transplanter and what a transplanter is. Enjoy. For those who do flower design or tree design of any extensive amount, a valuable set of tools that they have in Farmtown are the multiple planters or multi-planters and transplanters. With the multiple planters, I've created this design, and now I need to move it. So in order to do that, I have to use a different set, which is called the transplanters. And that's what we're going to discuss here. We have displayed here in the store the two different types, the multi-planter, and their range goes from a 4x4, which will give you 16, all the way to a 40x40, which will give you 1600, either trees or flowers planted at one time. And below them we have the transplanters, which have the same range. You will notice that they are all farm cash, and they start out at high price and work their way down as they go up in size. There's a number of them in between those two sizes, and if you are only going to use them once, I wouldn't advise buying more than the smallest ones if possible, or do them by hand. But if you're going to do large mosaics or design with your flowers, trees, whatever, you would need something larger. We'll show how to use the transplanters at this point. In your toolbox, the multi-planters and the transplanters are both located right to the right of your chainsaw chopper truck, with the transplanters on top. I currently have my mouse sitting over the transplanter 4x4. Now I do have them all the way up to 40x40, but we don't need to move that at this point. When I go to move this entire picture, I will be using various sizes depending upon how much of it I'm moving at a time. But to just give you an example, I'm going to use the 4x4, and it's this one right here, and I get a choice whether I want it to do all flowers and trees, or if I want to do it specifically just all flowers or all trees, or if I want to have specific trees or flowers. As an example, if I wanted to take and move just a small portion, I would pick the specifics, and you'll notice that just a small portion is about 4 across is shown there. Now if I take and go to a larger size, I'll show you the same. We'll go ahead and we'll do the big one. Okay, we're selecting the 40x40 transplanter, and we're going to look for specific flowers. So you'll notice when I put it here, it lights up that much, and I could actually move them if I wanted to. However, I can also take and go in and use it to select just a small portion of a farm or a design, and this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a copy, and what it'll do is it will allow me to duplicate any pattern that uses flowers or trees which are in the store. It will not do your gift trees or gift flowers. We're going to go with alt flowers. And I'm going to just grab a portion of it here and like here. And you'll notice it goes red, but when I come over clear land and I can move it down here anywhere and plant it, I can make a pattern just like that, however many I want to do, just like that. That's very convenient because just in that amount of time I was able to duplicate that pattern, and if my eyes were a little bit better I could get them all in a row, but you'll get the idea there. Then I can move that entire thing using the large one with all flowers. And move them. You see how I'm a little bit out of kilter there. With that same tool that I used, I could straighten that as well. But I can then move that, say, over here to where these other flowers are. Now, one thing, like I was going to say, because these flowers are frozen that I made the original copy of, they appear to be frozen at this point. By putting my mouse over it, it says it's frozen. Whereas these that I did earlier are not. However, if I reload this farm, and I'll do that now by just simply clicking on there. Now that we can see we've reloaded, we can see that these ones that look like they were frozen are not. They're in fact growing, and you can tell that there's different kinds of flowers in there, and as well as in the rest of these up here. These are starting to get ready. They were also planted using the multi-planter and everything. So anyway, we're going to get ready to see if we can move this thing now. So first thing I'm going to do is I have to work with a lot of contrast, and I'm going to change the background. Normally when I work on this I use a dark background, and I'll show you why here in a moment. Well, click on the store. The reason I do that is this way I can see what I'm doing up here better. And what I've decided I'm going to do is I'm going to take and move that in 4 parts. And okay, we're going to try this. And I've got the 40 by 40 one, and I'm going to get it right to that edge there, and right to the edge there. So I got to bring it back just a little bit. Right there. Click down. I have it. And I move it over here. And I slide it in just like that. Okay, now that I've got that initial part there, I can remove some of these lines that seems to be affecting me laying that down, and I can move dirt paths, etc. Now, okay, now that we got the flowers back lit, we're going to grab that next part right there and put it right next to it down here. So we'll go get our big tool again, and we're going to do all flowers. Okay, now we need to okay, we bring this over, and we're going to slide him in right next to that line. Okay. Now, we remove those white lines and go for the rest of it. So that I can properly see the edge when I start moving this part over this part here over there. I've gone through and hid the very edge of where the flowers are here so that I can get a good close match there, and also where the top is, so I can see exactly where I'm at when I move that over, because that will be very close. As I can tell, I did do a pretty good match right here, in that they're right up against each other. Man, that's going to be the judge for the success or failure of this project. Anyway, so now I will take and use my glove and move some dirt paths, because one thing we don't want to happen is we get over there and find out we can't lay it there. So I'm doing there, and I'm going to come over here and do one over here. Actually, I'm going to do that and up to there. There we go. Now we should be about ready. I will take the top half first across, because that's easier for me to see than the other is. So here we go. And we go back and get the big one again. And all flowers, all okay. And we're going to come down. Now we could cheat and not take all of it, because as you can tell, we have the advantage here that will go halfway up there. But I'd rather do it a little at a time versus a big amount of time. But I can do it like right there. Okay, we got him. And of course, once we get over here, okay, Now we got to slide him in. And I'm going to magnify this a little bit more so I can see it, if at all possible. Okay, we're close. I got to reduce the size just a shade. Okay, there we go. Now well, it is what it is. We shall go see now. Now the thing of it is because it is so big, that would go over that line. But there's a way to prevent that. If I do have to pick it back up, I hide these over here, which can be done if need be. Okay, now again I'm going to do the same thing with that one, and I'm going to check them edges. So we'll pause right here again. Okay, as near as we can tell, we got it pretty matched up. Now we got ready for the last element, which is going to go into that corner there. And I'm going to key on this spot right up here. But I don't want to hide anything in the meantime. Use our big tool. All flowers. Okay. Again, we'll go to the outside corner. And as you can see, we see the outlines of it. And we can bring him across and down. Well, it either is or isn't. It looks like it is, as near as I can tell. So, we do a save. Make sure we save this fella. And yes, it's saved. And now we can take and do a reload. Reloading. Okay. We'll check this side over here. Everything looks good. There. Now, our big test is going to be is if we take and hide all the flowers and see if the seams are proper. So, click on the walking person, come over here and do hide all flowers. Excellent. Now you'll notice that we have a couple of empty spots here. Well, that's not an empty spot, that's a dirt path. So we'll move him, but we have a spot here, and we have a spot, or is that a dirt path? Nope, that's an empty spot. Now, let's go over here to the actual one and see if we left any flowers here. We did. There are some right there and some right there. Well, we know where they're going to go. We know where they're going to go. Now, why it did not grab those, I have no idea. But that's going to be a piece of cake because we will do them individually as we hide the area around where these are at. The one's real close to the end, and the other one is where? Over on this side. Okay, so that won't be a big problem. So anyway, it looks like we've got it made, and there's one up here as well, but that's not a problem. So, task accomplished. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. And thank you, and have a great day.